Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So there's been some confusion ever since Tyrael got his most recent patch where follow-through was added to his level 7 talent abilities. And I'm here to tell you why you should never, ever take follow-through. Follow-through is, in fact, a trap talent. And a big part of the reason is Tyrael's attack speed. His attack speed is very fast. Attacks per second, 1.25. That means he attacks 1.25 times per second. The problem here is that the faster an attack speed is on most heroes, the lower their attack damage is, and adding a percent gain to something that's relatively ineffective to begin with is less of a buff than it is for a slower, higher damage attack speed, a hero like Thrall or Zeratul. So it's a little bit of a different situation. Follow-through is very good on those heroes. Follow-through is very, very bad on Tyrael. All right. So we're going to go Regeneration Master, Switch Retribution, whatever, and Reciprocate. All right, we're going to take Reciprocate, and we're just going to do this. Reciprocate works when the shield breaks, either through damage or through expiration, so 4 seconds if you don't take any damage, which, I mean, why would you pop W if you're not going to take any damage? That's 372 damage. 372 damage. I'm actually going to pop up a notepad file here. I'm not going to put it on stream. But I will pop it up. 372 damage. At level 20. Now, a single auto attack with follow-through. We'll reset the talents here. Auto attacks normally do 171 damage. A follow-through auto attack does 239. So, pretty basic math here. Right? 239 minus 171 is 68. That is 68 damage. If Reciprocate does 372, how many procs of follow-through do you need to make follow-through better than Reciprocate? 372 divided by 68 is 5.47. So 5 procs of follow-through is worse than 1 Reciprocate. And Reciprocate, remember, also has the utility of being wave clear because it's area of effect. So it deals damage to multiple targets. So it's 372 damage versus 68 per proc. Now, you can proc Reciprocate with Q twice. So you can Q, auto attack, Q, auto attack. The problem with that is that's 5 procs of follow through. And the smite cooldown being 6 seconds, but the Heroic Reforging cooldown, being 12, it doesn't work out. Reciprocate ends up being more damage overall. If you take Heroic Reforging, and here's an interesting dynamic. If you take Heroic Reforging and you successfully hit with your Q, go in, do follow through, you will basically get 2 procs here, 1 proc here, 1 proc here, that's 4. Plus your heroic, if you opt to use your heroic, that's 5. And then another 2 procs from here, that's 7. That's 1.5 procs over what you need to do to make it do damage. But that means that damage is spread out. How long does it take, Tyrael to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 auto attacks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's like 4 seconds. I think it's actually 4.8 something, or yeah, that's more than that. It's more than that because 5 auto attacks is 4.8. It's a long time. In a team fight scenario, or even in a ganking scenario, 6 to 7 seconds is a long period of time. So even under ideal conditions, with Heroic Reforging, we'll reset talents again here. Even in death, Heroic Reforging, follow through. Even under ideal conditions, follow through will only do more damage to a single target over a period longer than 6 seconds. If you use your heroic, and if you get if you take Heroic Reforging, if you get the proc from Heroic Reforging, and if you manage to sync it up in such a way that you get both procs of follow through from both of your Qs. In exchange for this, you give up wave clear area damage in general, which matters a ton on maps like, Infernal Shrines, even Garden of Terror with the seed camps. It helps, racing bosses, because again, if you're not using your heroic, and you're not hitting a hero with your Q, Reciprocate is always more damage. Like, this is a requirement. You need to be getting the cooldown reset on Heroic Reforging for follow through to do more damage. That's if and only if, right? And in addition to that, you have to stagger your abilities. Let's think about this. If I want to peel for one of my teammates, right, and I want to Q into them, I immediately want to E so that they can... I did that wrong. Toggle cooldowns. If I'm peeling for a teammate, I want to Q into them, and I immediately want to E so that they can run away. Notice how I used both of my abilities right there to do something really specific, and I would also want to W so that my teammate has a shield. You're giving up the ability to use your abilities in the way that's most beneficial in order to govern getting those follow-through procs. You're giving up your ability to be an effective tank, essentially, in order to get those follow-through procs consistently. So even if the damage were comparable, and it's not, follow-through is less damage, it's just strictly less damage. Even if the damage were comparable, in order to get that level of damage from follow-through, you're no longer tanking as effectively as you were. So follow-through is strictly a trap. Strictly a trap. A lot of people might think that it synergizes well with the other talents. Angelic Might, for instance, Nexus Blades. All of the bonuses in Heroes of the Storm are additive. So they're not multiplicative, right? You're not gonna get some extra advantage from having follow through and Nexus Blades. You're gonna get 160% of your base attack. You're not gonna get more than that. So it doesn't matter if there's other things being added onto it, because those things would have the value of follow through remains constant. And the value of follow through is always less than the value of Reciprocate. And as my chat is pointing out, and thank you, Real Crump Juice, the spammingness that happens when you're trying to get value out of follow through uses a lot of mana. And when you're burning mana on a hero like Tyrael, you're often going to be in situations where you don't have mana. You want to use your abilities on Tyrael judiciously, right? So, no matter what anyone else tells you, if you do the math, follow through is a trap talent on Tyrael. And this applies to a lot of talents on a lot of heroes. A lot of my guides are actually based around, I look at something and I just do the math. If a talent is strictly worse than another talent at doing a similar thing, it's a trap. It's strictly worse. A lot of people talk about the burst potential of follow through. I don't know where they get that idea that the burst potential exists. It doesn't. If you're trying to burst someone down, it's better to have damage that is instantaneous rather than damage that is spread out. And for instance, there's a really obvious example here that everyone talks about: Judgment. What if you Judgment someone and then you get follow through, right? Well, let's do this. Let's W and then Judgment something. Between the cast time of Judgment and the fact that I pre-W'd, my W is going to expire as I Judgment into my target, which means that burst is going to happen instantaneously. That is burst damage, and it's going to be more damage than any of the follow-through procs that are going to follow, or all the follow-through procs added together that are going to follow. So, PSA, never take follow-through on Tyrael, no matter what anyone says, because math.